Hi and welcome to Positive Abundant Manifestation. Today we're talking about living in the present. It's so important, especially for a positive mindset, is to keep yourself present. But before we start, I ask that you make a comment. Tell me what you want to hear me talk about, anything in relation to positive mindset, positive behavior management, positive parenting, positive classroom management, anything like that. Tell me how you like my videos, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share them if you do like them. What we do need to think about is what are the three senses of time, and that is past, present and future. And the first question for you is, where is our body? Our body is always in the present. It's our mind that switches between the three. So that's the thing that we need to keep in the present, because our body is always here. All those aches and pains are happening now. Okay, so keeping our mind in the present is really key. I want to put a disclaimer in. There's nothing wrong with the past or the future, and you shouldn't only be in the present. But there are parts of your past and parts of the future that affect the present and affect your positive mindset and can affect your abundance mindset. Because in terms of living in the present, as a spiritual person, I believe what we put out there is what the universe accepts. That's why in my videos I've always said about changing your mindset. So if you think a negative thought, that's okay, but change it to a positive. That's living in the present. Keeping in touch with yourself and what's going through your mind is really key. Generally, we'll talk about the future. When we're in the future, we're wishing for the future. It's the next stage of life. It's what we want. It's not made yet, so that it's to think of a future where we are happier. We've got the perfect relationship. We have a beautiful big house. We've got the great car. We love our job. Our kids are doing well. All these types of things you wish for in the present. And hopefully some of your wishes are as a global community or a local community. At least you're hoping for positivity and world peace. But that's what we're wishing for. It's not made yet, but it is. Your future is always made from the present. So where we are at the present will lead us to the future that we are making for ourselves. So if we're spending too much time dreaming about the future and not being present, we could miss the boat. That dream of our future might not happen. We have to be in the present to make that future happen. So it's good to have aims, it's good to have wishes, plans, dreams, think about and aspire to the future. They're good things and they're good places to be. But we need to not allow our future and what we wish for our future to disintegrate because we've not been in the present. The present for some people is a really happy place. For some people it's not very happy at all. In fact, it's quite depressing, or in terms of some people could be going through violence as a victim. So it might not be great. So in those times especially when we're in those really serious stages, it is probably healthy for you to not accept the present and live a bit further in the future, or live in a happy moment in our past to get you through what you're dealing with now. A simpler example than that, I have always associated alcohol with happiness. I've got a good relationship with alcohol, but I do tend to drink more if I'm stressed or if I'm depressed, because I link alcohol to happiness. So sometimes I use alcohol to make me feel happy. Now, in a way that is me living in the present, but actually really I'm living in the past, because I'm bringing a past emotion into my present to help me create a new present. What maybe I need to do is look at my mindset, and that's the interesting thing. Since I have been doing positive mindset, my alcohol consumption has dropped dramatically, because I'm no longer drinking to make myself feel happier. I'm drinking maybe for a social reason, but I'm not drinking very much, and I don't feel like I need to drink. Never that I thought I did. I just thought if it helped fix a problem, but it created problems in my present. You drink alcohol, you put on weight, there's other issues. So you've got to be thinking of the present. What is it I want now? Do I want to be healthy now? Well, then maybe using alcohol as a happiness pill is not the best thing for me. Maybe I should be going for a walk or doing more exercise, which will help my endorphins grow and flourish in my body, which will be my happiness. So it's things like that. And that's what I tended to do. For years I've walked as part of a mindfulness thing I do. I walk, I think through my day, I do look at the future, do planning, things like that. But it's in the future. Keeping our mind now, and for example, the week before talking about gratitude and how some people are so busy in their mind. It's not because they're rude when you open a door and they don't thank you. It's because they're so busy in their mind, they're not living in the present. Their mind, you need to keep awake when you're in the present. You need to keep your mind awake so that you know what's going on around you, so that you can see the goodness in the world. I mean, I'm also someone who loves to go to a coffee shop and just sit and watch the people go by, read the paper. That is the most present thing for me that I enjoy, because I see with the world as it is at the moment, see the things I like and things I don't like. Yes, I might make some judgments, but not harsh judgment on people, because I'm just not that sort of person. But we need to think about where our mind is. Some of the things that we can do to help us stay in the present is plan our day. In the morning, that's something I do on the day. What have I got to do today? Maybe for some of you, you need to write it down. You like a checklist to get through, especially if you're at work and maybe you've got a checklist. Plan your day. Be present in what you have to do now, because you need to take action now, and that will form your future. An example of that, if you're feeling a bit lazy at work and you don't do as much, if you're not working hard, that work will pile up. And then your future is not going to be the rosy future you want. It's going to be the stressful future, long hours at work, getting the work finished that you could have done during the day when you were slacking off a little bit. So that's why it's important to deal in the present. Meditate. Meditation, it doesn't have to be long. I'm an advocate for meditation that is, you don't have to be in a deep meditation, because I meditate, I can walk along the road and meditate. It's not a deep meditation where I can make loads of changes, but it is a form of meditation. It calms me down. Meditating with your eyes open. Some people find it difficult because they want to visualize. The visual learners, the visual beings who want to see. And sometimes when you close your eyes, not everyone sees these lovely pictures. So they leave their eyes open, because then they can see. With meditation, you will get thoughts in. It's really, you have to be so good at meditation to keep all the thoughts out. And that can be trained. You can be trained to do that. Transcendental meditation can get you there. But it is a fully immersive meditation, and in this busy life and busy world, a lot of us don't have the time to have these long meditations. So at least I say 10 to 15 minutes a day we should spend in meditation. Now, whether that's a meditation in the morning, a meditation at night, breaking it up during the day, quiet moment where you just close your eyes and relax when you get home, just calm it down. That's a really good time, a time when you could think about the day, what you could have achieved, what you need to achieve to get the day finished, the present finished. Other things, writing a journal at night about your day. It could be a gratitude journal, what you're grateful for. What happened today that I'm really grateful for? What is it I want for the future or achieve in the future? What from today can I take into my future? What do I want to leave behind in my past? Now, the past for people can be really good, but for a lot of people, it's the things we carry with us and as a negative part. Especially someone like me with my experiences of abuse and things like that. If I'm bringing those thoughts of what happened to today, that can lower my mood. That might mean that there are a lot more negative comments come in to my thinking, on it when I'm thinking of those sorts of things. The past is important because what happens in your past, whether it's negative or positive, whether it's how much education you got, whether you had both parents, a divorced family, single parent, never known the other one, you were adopted, you were brought up in difficult circumstances, you were brought up in a lovely, rich environment, only child. It doesn't matter what your, well, it does to you, but in terms of the global picture, it doesn't matter what your past was. It's just a recognition that that past has made you into the person you are today. So it's so important to understand that and accept that and remember the lessons from your past and to bring those successes from your past to today. But don't live in that success. What does that matter to today? What person are you today? Have you taken that success and carried it on to today? Or have you got to that peak and then thought, well, I've done it now, and just relaxed, and your life has suddenly gone down, and like not wanting to be that successful? We need to make sure that we take our successes with us and we build that success up and continue to grow, and to remember the lessons that we learned on that way to success. Like, it might be hard work, it might be gratitude for other people, it might be that you helped other people out as well at the same time. And remember the lessons we learned from our negative experiences. Now, some of those negative experiences that we have had are out of our control, so it's nothing that we could control. So we don't take those negative experiences on. We remember them and understand that that experience may be who we are today, but we don't take that on. If we didn't have control of that experience, then we cannot take that experience on, because what every experience does, happy or sad or angry, we take emotion on, and it's the emotion we take with us. Do you want to live in that experience for the rest of your life? Then you need to cut the emotive ties to those experiences. And that's why people talk about forgiveness. You have to forgive them. It doesn't mean you need to have them in your life. And happiness, when they don't deserve it, you don't want them in your life. That what you want to do is, out there in the universe, is to forgive them, to put that out there today, so that you can move forward with your emotions. It's not about them. It's not about the forgiveness, even though that's a good thing and a positive thing to do to help you with your positive mindset. It's all about helping you to get rid of the negative emotional attachment with your past. Don't bring it into your present. It's okay to remember. As I said at the start of the video, it's okay to live a bit in the past, a little bit in the future, as long as you're still awake in the present. Today is the day you're living. Do you really want to live depressed about something that happened or an argument that happened a week ago? Do you want to feel that? What effect does that have on your present? And I've done this before because I was in a domestic abusive relationship, and some of the hurtful arguments and things that were said to me and done, I would relive in my head. I would go over it and over it again, and then I would use that for the future. I'd be reliving the next time I was going to see them. Oh, they're going to argue about this, or that's a negative mindset. We don't want to plan our future around negative emotion that we are thinking about in the present that is attached to us because of the past. That past emotion must be rid. We must cleanse ourselves of it. We must cleanse ourselves of our negative emotional experiences from the past. It's called emotional regulation. And emotional regulation is a present mindset. We need to know how we are feeling in the present. And actually, if I'm in a good place now, then why would I need to think negatively about that past and about a future conversation that might never happen? As I've said, I believe what we put out there can happen. So if we're planning for an argumentative argument with someone that we know that is argumentative, then that's probably going to happen because we've already role played it out. We already know it's going to happen because that's what we've built for our future. But if we in our present mind can think about changing those negative thoughts into positives, giving someone the benefit of the doubt and thinking, well, they will be all right with this because it's me. And if they're not, I'm going to respond in a positive way, just going to ignore their comment and just move on from it. And that's a positive reaction, because you could well be right. They could be looking for argument, but don't plan that argument. Don't role play it out before it's even happened. Role play out how you're going to respond in a positive way if that's going to happen, if you want to role play. But I wouldn't even be there thinking about the future. Live for today. Is that argument today? It's like anxiety over a big presentation you have to do in a week's time. Harder to do than to say, but don't live the anxiety today, because it's not today. Tell yourself you're okay. What does I need to do to feel successful and less anxious on the day? I need to get this planned out, written out, put all my slideshow up. I need to get that done. So live in the present, do that, and that will make you feel less anxious. But it also means that the presentation's not happening today, so don't be anxious about it today. That anxiety will come because we all get anxious with presentations, even someone like myself who have done training to thousands of adults and taught thousands and thousands of children over time. Probably not that many, but maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration, but loads of children. But I have taught a lot of adults. And when you come in from a mindset, I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't deserve to be there telling other people what to do. But when you look at my resume and you look at my experiences and my references and stuff like that, that tells me that I do deserve to be there. My knowledge base tells me I deserve to be there. So why is my head telling me I'm not? And the reason is, as we said before, I've brought a past emotion where someone's continually told me I'm no good, I'm not good enough, I'll never amount to anything, and I've brought it into the present. And can you see why it's so important to leave the emotional attachment to past experiences in the past? Your body's in the present, get your emotions and your mind in the present. Also, to keep yourself in the present, allow your distractions. If you know you've got to do stuff, don't have the TV running, which is the thing I do because I work at home. I have the TV running while I'm, for example, like I'm probably editing this video in and out of watching television. Don't go on your phone all the time. You might be living in the present, you're probably dealing with someone in the present, but you might be looking at dating websites and stuff like that while you actually should be doing what you should be doing, which is working towards your happy future in today, present. It's so important that we can live now, because that's when our senses live, and that's what I keep saying about the body. We can only touch something in the present. We can only smell what we can smell in the present. We can only see what's in the present, though, great things like YouTube and stuff like that, we can look, and television, we can look at the past. But in terms of real life, what's going on today, we can only see it with today's eyes. We can only hear the sounds. So I'm recording this, I've got cars going past because it's probably around the time of getting towards the peak hour traffic time. I can only hear that now. In the past, it's all memory. It's not what these senses are doing now. The food I'm eating, I can only taste it now. So if you like and enjoy food, then you're going to have to cook the tasty meals so you can live in the present of the taste of now, rather than remember back to the great experiences of what you've eaten before. It's so important. I'm not telling you, though, you can't have a past, and I'm not telling you not to dream for the future. It's so important. If you need to have something to work towards. You need to use the experiences of the past to build up your future. Now, I'm an empath, a healer, someone who has had to have these negative experiences, because on a spiritual level, so that I can give my insight and my knowledge base to people now. I've lived these things. I'm going through this process because it is a continual process. Positive mindset's not something, oh gosh, I've got positive mindset now, I don't need to worry about it. You have to continually build it every day. And when you build positive mindset, you will start to build your abundance mindset. And that is what you'll get in the future. gradually over time abundance will build, because you're keeping your mindset positive. You're not linking back to past emotions or experiences that are attached to those emotions. For today, an example of living in the past, emotions affecting today, if I'm thinking of an argument that I've had with someone from the past or a bad experience, I'm going to feel that. I might feel anger. Someone from the present comes into my room and I might be quite curt with them or rude even. If you're living with an emotion in your head that's actually not a present emotion, you can affect the present of today. So like, for example, my son comes home, I just snap at him for whatever reason because I'm feeling that anger, but the anger's not from now. There was nothing today that made me angry. I was just thinking of an argument, and the feelings attaching the emotion from the past affected my present. And my, for example, my son's present. And then it might affect his future because he might be grumpy with the next person, and it goes on. It's so important to keep awake. Remember that our past can be good, but don't let the emotions be attached to the present. And make sure that when we are aiming for the future, we're not living in the future, we're living in the present. So build the future you dream and desire today by being positive, by not attaching any negative emotions from the past, by meditating. You could be journalizing, keeping lists, planning your day, be aware of what's going on around you. Limit your social media, phone, television when you're needing to concentrate, like crossing a road, for example. So many people who are walking along the road with their eyes on their phone rather than eyes on where they're going, and they are not living in the present. I've seen people walk into telephone posts and stuff like that. That's why we need to keep awake into the present. So don't allow the past to rule your present. Don't stay wishing for the future. Live in the present. Sending positive healing thoughts and love and light to you all.